and Lynch just throws the swinging arm which sucks the gas out of him.
Richmond spearhead Tom Lynch is treading a very fine line after twice being fined for striking.
The AFL is certainly concerned this is not a good look for the game.
I think that's by design. I feel like he probably plays his best footy when he's on the edge. Sometimes there's got to be a little bit of this to get him up and going.
You know, we want our guys to play aggressive, assertive footy. That's how they play. Don't want them to go over the line, but the fact of the matter is sometimes they will.
There's no way that those $1,000 fines have any impact on Tom Lynch. We know because a fortnight ago he was fined again for pushing a bloke's head into the ground.
He has played great football without this being a part of his game. I mean, Jack and Damien Hardwick are promoted as this is how he plays. That's nonsense. That's never been part of his makeup.
Anything that is an embarrassment or lessens the pride of our members in our club is of great concern to me, and we just have to ensure that it doesn't happen anymore.
So he's copped a couple of fines on the weekend as Tom Lynch, one for Sam Collins and one for Jared Witts. So he's copped two, but it was only a few weeks ago that he also copped one for an incident here with Alex Witherden. So this is where we'll talk about Mitch Robinson soon, who's had a crack at him about that. So he's copped 1,500 across the course of a few weeks. But I reckon Tom Hawkins has been through it. Jonathan Brown's been through it. I've been through it. Sometimes you get tested a little bit and you're copping a little bit off the ball. And
how have you been through it?
Where I was suspended, Eddie nicknamed me the Velvet Sledgehammer through a period where I was suspended 4 times in about 11 or 12 weeks, where you're copping so much off the ball that you're venting in a sense and you're frustrated. And what I'd say to Tom is you've got to pick your mark. Don't react there and then. In what I've been through, wait your time. There might be a time where Sam Collins goes to, is backing back into a pack. Put your knee up, go for a mark, and you might hurt Collins in that way. So I'm just saying he's just probably got to get some advice. Pick your moments, Tom, rather than hurting your team.
Well, to your point, well, let's have a look at Sam Collins on Lynch, the reverse. I mean, that was a very aggressive, big, to me, identical to Lynch, but with more force.
Which is what led to the...
Yeah, and then led to him standing up. You've got 200-kilo men, so I think it was very aggressive by Collins, and that's OK, but if you're going to do that, you've got to wear what comes. You win them and wear them. And I think Lynch was entitled... Look, the Witherden one, it wasn't ideal, didn't need to do that, but in the heat of the moment, we'd like to see that stamped out. But in the context of the treatment, I've watched all year, and he was under pressure for not performing, but people were holding the two arms around. He's decided enough's enough, I'm being aggressive. Generally, the full backs are behind, in your back, so I think keep standing your ground, Tom. Attack the ball hard, and your point, when you get an opportunity, take it and tackle hard and hit the pack hard.
I'm sort of with it. I mean, I think there has been a bit of a pile on Tom Lynch. I mean, I will not buy for a moment that he's a thug or an aggressive player that is in... I mean, look, I would hate to see what happened to Tom Hawkins happen to Tom Lynch in the preliminary final, and I thought that was a really strong reaction from the president, Peggy O'Neill. That was
surprising. Surprising reaction. And I wouldn't have thought he's embarrassed his club at all. I think he'd say the Witherden one, OK. But when that fine went to the stomach, Collins had gone to grab him with two arms. So, look, did he get it exactly right? But I don't think he's done much wrong in the context of the heat he copped.
But in that situation, he went down the ground, took the mark, turned around, kicked the goal that set the game up for the Tigers. I mean, the umpire... You know, without taking this off in another direction, but if we had a goal umpire who could actually pay a free kick that something's happening 5 feet in front of him and he's standing there watching it and sees the bloke go whack.
OK, let's
give
have
a free
look
kick.
At
That's what you want. I don't want a $5,000 fine. I don't want him getting 2 weeks. I want the free kick there for my bloke getting hit.
This story has spilled all over the place this week, including the Brisbane Lions Football Club. This is a Mitch Robinson tweet from the incident the other night. Why would he? There's no ground to push it into, which is clearly a direct reference to the Witherden incident a few weeks ago. And this is Mitch Robinson talking on his... It emerged today, but it was a couple of weeks ago on his Twitch. Is it a podcast or a video show? Something on social media anyway. This is Mitch Robinson.
What are your thoughts on Tom Lynch? Don't like the bloke at all. That guy can get He went to a good team to get success. That's what he did. He went to a premiership team and thinks he's that good. Yeah, he just does my head in. He's a wanker.
Seriously. I mean, that is just the most unbelievably ridiculous spray. I know it came off the back of the Witherden incident. It's 2 weeks old. It's emerged today. The Lions have become aware of it today. I'm told the coach, Chris Fagan, became aware of it today, has spoken quite severely to Mitch Robinson, who has apologised. That is my information.
He's apologised to Tom Has he?
Has apologised to his club for the language he used. Well, has he? I'm not sure if he's apologised to Tom or not. No, I'm not sure about that.
Well, I just think Mitch, he's a good redemption story from Carlton. Turned his life around, and that's okay. Well, I think, but we've all admired Brisbane as well. Gone about it quietly, rebuilt. Noble, Fagan, Neil, Zorko. But this doesn't fit their brand or what they stand for as a team. I'd be concerned. I'm glad to hear that they've spoken to me because I'm at the roll of the eyes stage with Mitch. You know what? You're going okay, son, but you're just having a little bit too much to say.
Yeah. Here was a quote also from this year as well on Joel Selwood, another player we respect greatly in this game, and he said in an article with Mark Robinson, the Herald Sun, I don't like Selwood. What happens on the field stays on the field, but Selwood would know why. We'll leave it at that. And I think with Robinson, he had his 200th 2 weeks ago. This is Mitch Robinson, and he was lauded for what he's done for a lot of Brisbane players and all those sorts of things. But he's got to be very careful that he doesn't become a Jason Ackermanis in that he gets to a point where he becomes such a distraction for Chris Fagan having to put out spot fires to, sorry, Joel Selwood, sorry, Tom Lynch, sorry, Chris Scott, sorry, Damien Hardwick. And you get to a point, while you're winning, it's okay. When Acker was winning and his team was winning premierships, everyone accepted it. But the moment you start losing and Mitch isn't playing that well...
It's a pretty strong comparison.
Yeah, I
Jason
think you can easily find yourself in the too hard
Or
basket.
situationally, he's the hard man of Brisbane. Yeah. Lockie Neal's getting tagged and sat on. It's grand final day. Coach said, son, you've got to make some impact here. And then he might tread a line where he might say, and the world might come at him. So, you know what, just go about it quietly and do your business.
Ackermanis won a Brownlow and won 3 premierships as well, so he had a bit there.
But was still asked.
What's he remembered for now, though, Ed?
I know, but I'm just saying he did all that beforehand.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's still a bit to go for the Lions. And we better have one last one. You know a bloke's in trouble when it's a timeline. Like, you know when the paper, when you open up and you've got a timeline under, you know you're in trouble. And this was early in the season, Mitch, not at his best. Whack! There you go. Not since Robbie Muir threw it at umpire Kevin Smith have we seen a mouthguard go out like that. A bit of Percy Jones about him, didn't he?
Well, I remember watching that live and I thought, the ball's going away, just chase them.
Do you believe in ammunition, Ross? That I know it was used against me once. I said something about Matthew Richardson, and Eddie, I was on the show with you, and as you do in television, you said, Matthew Lloyd has just said that they will target Matthew Richardson's shoulder on Saturday, right? Because it's something I'd said earlier. And Plough put it up on the change room, and I had Paul Broderick walk past me at the centre-house and said to me, you will not walk off this field today, you'll be carried off. And then Paul Bullis come charging down with his long hair, absolutely terrorised me, and we lost the game. And I don't think I will come on the Footy Show for about 10 years. But
well, you don't poke the bear.
That was the last time you said anything.
Don't poke the bear. He's poking a pretty good bear there, isn't he?
Well, he's poking Richmond, who have won their last 15 matches against Brisbane, including the final last year. So it's going to be a good game. He's
always come across to me as a lovely, unassuming young man, Tom Lynch. I mean, I'm not being biased here, am I?
And we do love players who speak their mind, so we don't want to take that away from them, but we feel he's overstepped it.
Respect your opponent.
But having said that, if the AFL do want to stop that, he gets a week for throwing a punch at a bloke off the ball. Full stop.
Well, Brisbane have every right to be annoyed because Daniel Rich got a week for something ridiculous, but that's another story.